Well, hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining today. It is Giving Tuesday, and I am excited to talk about a lot of different things today. But we're going to get started with my co-hosts that are here with me. We have Rochelle and we have Misty, who is going to be joining us momentarily. Gotta love technology, so the show goes on. So we are really excited to have everyone here today, and Misty is coming in, so we're going to add her too. So happy Tuesday, ladies. How are you doing today?
Good. Happy Tuesday.
I am
Yes,
really.
I'm
ahead.
having real life. I'm having real life Tuesday today.
Oh, I understand that. So tell us what's new with you, Misty.
Well, we'll just take off my negative hat. I was going to try to complain for a minute. Everything is beautiful. I have a new writing workbook that's going to launch on Sunday. Nice. And my children and my dogs are making it more of a sport. So I appreciate all of their love and attention that they are giving me during this really crucial time.
And there goes your dog.
I love it.
Yes,
love
back
it.
and forth.
Well, one thing I would reframe is, it's just life. It's not negative, because I look at all the lemons I got through my 13-year journey with depression, and now I have a lot of lemonade to share with other people, So right now we're on that side where we're just going through it. So really glad that you're here with us today so that you can share some insight. So I'm excited to talk about some of the things that we had scheduled for today. We were thinking about a list of 10 things, and I don't even know if we'll be able to get through the whole list, but we're talking about ways that we can move forward. It's getting to be the end of the year, and a lot of people have all these things that they had on their list at the beginning of 2022. And for some people, they're just like, it's not enough time. I just should stop now, wait till next year. But we are here to encourage you to keep moving. Even if you knock one more thing off that list, that's worth it. It's going into the new year a little lighter with less weight on your shoulders. So, Rochelle, why don't you start out and introduce yourself, and then we'll go over to Misty and have some dialogue before our next guest comes on.
Oh, amazing. So my name is Rochelle Harlington. I'm a podcaster, author, and transformational coach. And I'm really excited to collaborate with these ladies and really talk about so many different things that we can give. Today, I heard actually on the radio, Giving Tuesday. So very nice. I think we can give and we can achieve so many different things, but I think it's from a place of understanding that there's always tomorrow and that we have the opportunity to keep going. And even if the new year comes and you're still at the very end, it doesn't matter. It will come. I like to say it will show up when it's supposed to, and it will come together when it's supposed to, because it's always divinely.
Love that. I love that. All right. So Misty, over to you.
Hi. Well, thank you. I'm Misty Riston of Campground TBD Publishing. And I just want to follow up on what Rochelle said with I'm so sorry. Hopefully my dogs are just being insane right now. Okay. A lot of energy here.
I can't hear anything. Can you?
I can't hear anything either.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. They're growling. This is their family. They're just growling at each other just because I'm on a thing right now.
Well, go ahead and introduce yourself. I love it. Okay. I mean, this is real life,
Yep, exactly.
Thank you. I just want to take a minute because every part of me tried to use an alibi to what we were just talking about, to take our foot off the pedal before the end of the year.
Right.
I wanted to back out of this, even this call today. I was like, I'm not ready. Look at everything in the world going on. But that's kind of what we're talking about. We cannot let our foot off the pedal. Every day is a day.
Yeah.
And so if this is where I'm headed there every day. Some days I'll move closer and some days, but I just cannot allow this time of year to make me turn away from that direction. And so this is a perfect example of me going, no, this is my purpose and my passion. And I'm not going to let this kind of nonsense keep me from being focused on my alignment and my purpose for this season. So
Nice.
I appreciate you guys being here with me through this.
And I love that, and I was going to go into these 10 things, but I think this is the perfect segue for our guests because, I just wrote a newsletter about, what would you do if you were given a 9% chance of survival? If you had a doctor come and tell you that, what would you do at that point? And here we're learning the situation about really honing into the things that really matter.
Yeah.
What are the things that really should be the focus of what we're doing every day? And as we think about the holidays, we're around family, we have our goals and aspirations, things that we want to do, but how is it really impacting our lives and the lives of others? And a lot of times we can put all these things on our to-do list, but are they really accomplishing what we were set out to accomplish? So I am so excited. I see that we probably have some technical difficulties with Summer. She's kind of going in and out. But for those of you that don't know Summer, she is my sister, and I think it's so funny because we look nothing alike. Okay. We don't have the same family or anything, but we're sisters, and we got connected through Clubhouse, and we were complete strangers, and we started a club on Clubhouse, and we called it the Elephant Strategy Club. And in that club, we talked about the hard topics, the elephants in the room. And so as a result of that, we have going into our second year with the Elephant Strategy Club. We have over 1,000 members that have joined us on this journey, and we have grown exponentially because we have talked about a lot of the hard topics that a lot of people don't want to face. And we went on this journey for about 6 months, I would say, before I even knew that she was a pancreatic cancer survivor. That's how much we were focusing on other people and not our own story. So I am so excited to have Summer with us. Hopefully, let's keep our fingers crossed that we're keeping.
Okay. I think she's coming through.
You hear us, Summer?
I don't know how long I'll be here, but
I saw that. I was like, she's popping in and out. Girl, you eating popcorn today or what?
Well, I don't know. Something's going on. Look, I'm standing in the middle of the yard just going, okay, just stand right here. Don't move.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me
now? Right? Exactly. That's what's going on.
Yeah, so introduce yourself. Just jump in and tell us a little bit about your story, because for some people that don't know you or even know anything about, Giving Tuesday with this pancreatic cancer, just,
right.
The floor is yours.
So, well, I came prepared, you see.
Yeah, I love it.
Wearing my purple get up.
I love it. Oh, did we lose her again?
Oh, I think I'm here. Okay. I'll talk fast. I'll talk really fast. Hi, y'all. Thank you for letting me be here with you today. And the whole thing about meeting Lachelle, it was amazing. It is amazing. It's not, it wasn't, it just is. And, when she asked me to, well, I reached out to her because I was going through a hard time. I had been, told that I had no evidence of disease at the time, but I was in such a funk. I mean, a clinical depression. And that was because I didn't know what to do, what was next. I was really having a hard time just focusing on living again. And so I heard Lachelle in a group on Clubhouse, and I knew deep down that if I wanted to get better, that I needed to surround myself with people that knew what I was going through. And Lachelle had no idea that I was going through that I had been through pancreatic cancer, but she did know that I was that I had some issues with depression. And so I reached out to her and I said, I see you have dreams and goals. Is there anything I can do to help you? Maybe, be with you and host a room on Clubhouse or something. I just wanted to surround myself with that energy. I knew that was important. And thank God I said yes when she said, do you want to host 21 rooms with me? I thought, okay, now she's just crazy, you know, because I can't, focus on the hour in front of me, much less 21 days. But I said yes. I said yes because I felt like this is where I was supposed to be. And this was going to be the start of something really great. I didn't know what that was. I just knew it was better than where I was, and I wasn't staying where I was. And so, Lachelle, thankfully, just jumped on that bandwagon, and every day we did something different. It was all about mindset growth and getting started and actually doing it, not just saying that we're going to do it, but doing it. And it was amazing. It is amazing. We're still doing it. And we're finishing the year strong this year, 21 days, the last 21 days, starting on December 13th. Everybody's welcome to join us. If you have any goals or dreams that you want to start, it's a good place. It's just a support group. It's a great group of people that are together. But really today being Giving Tuesday, I would be crazy not to mention, pancreatic cancer. And it's not anything that I ever wish on even my worst enemy. I was told in 2018, the beginning of that year, that actually the doctor's words to me were, after I was diagnosed, because that's the key, is early detection. And it's not something that a lot of people look for, and it mimics a lot of other things. And so I was fortunate to get a doctor who, as I was walking out of the room, I said something about gallstones because my sister had gallstones. And she said, let's run some ultrasounds. Let's just to be safe, let's do it. I was walking out with a prescription for Pepsid. And I knew that there was something else going on. So the biggest news is, one, being your own advocate and not just taking the word of somebody else. If you think that there's something really wrong, say something about it. Ask a lot of questions. That's important too.
Yep.
But I was lucky enough to be diagnosed, which I thought I had a decent prognosis. It wasn't great. I will say that they said it is not resectable, the surgery that they would have to do. So that meant that the chemo had to work or the surgery couldn't be done. And it was just all these things that had to fall in line. And one of my doctors looked at me and said, literally before we even started the first treatment or decided on a clinical trial or anything, she said, I just want to let you know that most people don't make it through this. And that was a moment when I just was brought to my knees. What do I do now? What's next? Right. A lot of people decide that it's just not worth it past that point. But I'm thankful for the doctors that I had, and I was in a clinical trial, and I was able to get that surgery. It started off as supposed to be a 4 to 7 hour surgery, and it turned into a 14-hour surgery. And then it turned into a feeding tube, and it was just one thing after another. But the good news is, after all that, I was too sick to even to do the chemo after the surgery. But the good news is I didn't need it. I still don't need it. I'm good. Thank God I'm good. But the prognosis is not that good for a lot of people. A lot of people find out a little too late about pancreatic cancer. And so some of the warning signs, for me, were I had, back pain in the middle of my back, and I sort of felt like I had indigestion. And on top of that, I felt like my sister had told me she had gallstones like about a month before. And so she told me a little bit about her symptoms, and it sounded very familiar. And so it did mimic that of, gallstones. And there's not an easy test that's out there to be able to say, yeah, that's what you have or not. It literally is, it's a series of tests. It's not just one thing. There is a blood test that can be done, CA 919. But that's not even 100%. That's not going to tell you everything you need to know. So part of what PanCan does, that's an organization that I'm volunteering with to raise money to help other people that have pancreatic cancer. They do research to help people before they have pancreatic cancer. And during pancreatic cancer, they conduct a lot of clinical trials. They help people during the process of pancreatic cancer, help to navigate the process, and to, if they want to go into a clinical trial, they can do that as well. So they do a lot of really impressive things for people just like me. They're still helping me out. They help with nutrition after the fact, after the Whipple procedure, and many other things that they reach out to help us with. But if you want to go to their website to learn more specifically, if you may have some of the risks or signs, symptoms, that you can find that at PanCan.org. That's Pancreatic Cancer Action Network.org, PanCan.org. And they are the ones that are putting forth. Actually, this year they're putting forth $28 million into research to help people that have pancreatic cancer. And like I said, people just like me, and I'm very thankful for that. And Lachelle, thank you so much for letting me share just a little bit about PanCan. And our walk, just so you know, is coming up. And Lachelle actually helped us to get the first annual Pancreatic Cancer Action Network walk in Richmond, Virginia last year. She was a big support to me in helping me get with the right people, and the right people came together. And this happened actually in 2020 when everything first started with our club. And I couldn't be more excited about that. We'd had our first walk, and Lachelle drove up from Georgia to Virginia to walk with me. So she doesn't just talk about it. She's actually doing it. She's actually doing it, y'all. So I want to invite you too, if you would like to walk from right wherever you are. You're welcome to be on my team. I'd love it, actually. And I know we'll put like a link up or something to let you know. But Lachelle's going to be walking with me this year. You can walk virtually. You can walk with me. You can donate if you want. Anything helps. And I'm just thankful to be able to talk to you about this and to tell you how happy I am that I said yes 2 years ago with Lachelle. It has made the biggest difference in my life. And I know that God has everything to do with that. And so to God be the glory today. And thank you so much for letting me.
Oh, we lost her again.
There she is.
I was like,
right?
That's not perfect. Okay.
Try not to move.
I love that. So, Summer, what advice would you give somebody who is in that state of depression, or maybe they have gotten a diagnosis? What advice would you give them today?
All right. Well, when I got my diagnosis, I was actually with a friend of mine. I was on my way home. I still had no idea what a pancreatus. Listen, I can't even say it. I didn't even know what a pancreas was. And all I knew was that it sounded bad, and I didn't Google anything. I would advise don't Google anything, because statistics are just that. They're numbers. Science changes every day. God doesn't. So my advice, I just only have, what happened for me. And that is that I had been on a journey a couple years prior to this, and God and I were having a lot of big talks, and I was learning a lot about him. And when I was diagnosed, I do believe that God protected me from myself, because I'm the biggest Google MD person. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm having a sore throat. All of a sudden, I've got cancer of the whatever I've never heard of. So I would advise, do not Google anything. To count on your professionals and have good friends around you that you can rely on. Get a friend, get a family member, somebody that you trust that's going to be with you during this process, because you're not, I don't know. This was me. So I wasn't thinking clearly in the beginning. And I will say that under all of that medication, it's hard to think clearly. So I would say that to have an advocate with you, somebody that that you trust, that will be there with you, and keep a notebook of everything that's going on and with all your questions on a daily basis. It's good doctors are key. But your doctors are only as good as the questions that you ask, and just don't give up. And and the biggest thing is, if you are a believer, fully rely on the source of strength that we have. That's something that I'll never forget as long as I live, because I'm quite an emotional person. But that I believe that God gave me the strength to get through that. My husband kept saying, "I cannot believe how strong you are." I said, "That is not me. That's not me, because I am just, but that probably that would be the first things, is just, be in prayer with God about it. Don't not do anything about it. Because that's just as much as saying, you don't care as anything. And so give yourself a chance. Give God a chance to do what he does best. And that's probably my best advice.
I love that. That is beautiful.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, does anybody have any questions, for Summer? Anything you want to ask her?
No,
I don't. I just want to say I love how your outlook was. I had a much milder form of cancer, and I can't tell you the name of it. I did not. When they tried to explain it to me, I said, no. I'm not going to learn a whole new thing. We're going to heal me, but I'm not going to take on all that negativity. So I went the same way. I don't even want to go down that path. I Googled the very first thing I Googled, and I went, oh no,
Yeah,
I reject everything about this. So I love that you have that. And the other thing I wanted to mention is you talking about the importance of your person. And Lachelle and I talked about this, that unconditional reciprocating love circle, what I call my URL. Like, I think that's so important that you had
That's
that
cool.
and that you identified that as a great part of your healing. So thank you for sharing those things with us.
Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate that. I mean, I will say that without this group of people that came together, and I mean, it's changed, it's evolved, it's gotten better over time. It's different all the time, this group, but it's made me realize that God has us exactly where we're supposed to be, exactly when,
divinely timed.
and I mean, yeah, and I mean, it makes all the difference in the world when you see that, or when you are conscious about it. You're just making note of, like, look at what God did today. I mean, that's amazing. And it's every day. If we take a moment, every day there is something within that day that is extraordinary. But did we see it?
Yeah.
And it's like you said, I think our attitude has everything to do with it, and it's surrounding ourselves with people that can lift us up, and that we can lift up and build each other together. God didn't make us to be alone, for sure. And that's something that I'm grateful for, that I didn't have to do any of that alone. And we're just never alone. So
Yeah.
thank you for sharing that.
Love that.
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's interesting how, and I'll just say this, that sometimes in those really deep moments that, you go through, and I've gone through, we've all gone through, it's those deep moments that you realize that you're not alone, that you have the support, and it makes you kind of climb a little bit higher in who you are and share such a beautiful story, or whatever the message is. But sometimes we have to go a little down in order to come up even higher.
Absolutely. I mean, that's one thing that keeps coming up. I do a lot of writing, and I write every morning, and something that comes up a lot for me is the words "in the midst," because in the midst, and I listen to a lot of people's stories, and I don't know if you've noticed this or not, but a lot of people, when they're sharing their stories, most of the things that happen, it's in the midst of whatever it was they were going through, where they had that epiphany, that big whatever. Now, what are you going to do with that? I have tons of people that ask me all the time, why aren't you writing a book? Why aren't you doing this? Why? And it's not that I'm not writing. I am writing, and I'm using what I'm writing to help other people, because I'm sort of processing. I feel like I just kind of went through, actually, I go through therapies too. And one of the doctors said, don't discount that there is, and you know, you as a survivor, you probably understand what I'm saying, but she said, don't discount the fact that, you know, PTSD, there is such a thing, you know, because you worry about this thing coming back or whatever, you know, everybody worries about this thing coming back. And I have gone through that. I have, where I've really worried about that stuff coming back. Why am I telling you this now, Lachelle? Stop me. Stop the train.
Look, I'm on the train, girl. I don't know.
We were talking about the importance of your tribe and the importance of your group and how they got you through this.
That's it. I used to think about that all the time. All the time. Lachelle can tell you, I used to think about it all the time. I couldn't plan my future because I thought about the statistics and the numbers and everything. But it was being around other people that were planning their futures. It made me feel like either I'm a slug because I'm just planning to die. You know, I'm waiting for this date to be dropped on me or whatever. And it hit me just recently. Somebody said to me, oh, Summer, you know, you don't have to worry about that stuff because, I mean, you could get hit by a car today. And I said, yeah, well, I don't get in my car and drive to the store and think I'm going to die on the way there. You know, I mean, it's a different kind of like, you know, in the pit of your stomach, every once in a while, you just think, you know, I just don't want to think about that. Well, I stopped focusing on it. Really is what we focus on. I stopped focusing on that and started focusing on making plans.
Good.
You know?
Oh. Did we lose her again?
There she goes.
There she is.
Yeah. I'm just doing magic acts.
We need a video, a live video of you out there in the yard doing what you're doing.
Yeah. I'm sure if my neighbors drive by right now, I'm sitting out here with my purple wig on. I got my slippers on. But I can't show you because they're covered with dog hair.
Oh, there you go.
Real life.
I love it.
It is real life.
It is real life. It is real life. Yes. Mm-hmm. Well, I love the fact that you were able to come on and to share because I think it's so important for people to realize how to have gratitude, you know, how to practice that just in every day. And even just, I know that we have created a community even now, you know, just right here on this video that we're doing together, all of us, you know, holding each other up and encouraging each other and helping us to kind of get out of our head about some of the things that happen on our journey, whether it's issues with your kids or your pets or whatever. You know, we have to realize that all these things are a part of life.
Yeah.
And when we isolate ourselves, we feel alone and it just magnifies because we are choosing to do that to ourselves. But when we come together, it just seems lighter, you know, not as heavy, a lot of the things that we experience. So thank you so much for being here and having a face for a lot of people who, like you said, you know, you talk about pancreatic cancer. And I know for years, only thing I heard was it's not a good chance for survival. You know, it's like, oh my gosh, you know, you're right at the doorstep of not being here anymore. And to me, it is just, I just call you my walking miracle because it's just amazing to hear your testimony and really encourage people, regardless of whatever diagnosis. So,
well, it's my pleasure to be here, and thank you for letting me share, Lachelle. Really appreciate that, and it does make a difference. You know, somebody may hear something. You know, if you're diabetic, it's a time to kind of turn the light. Because a lot of people who have diabetes that have had it for longer than 4 years, they're at higher risk. You know, these are things that people don't know. And it's important to just kind of check out some of those, you know, signs and symptoms, weight loss, you know, like I said, the back pain, changes in your stool. Maybe you have jaundice in your eyes or your skin. Only you would know that. A lot of times you don't have your makeup on. You notice that. But these are little things, but they make a huge difference the earlier you can detect that. and find answers for what you have going on. So I just appreciate being able to talk about it. Thank you guys for letting me share.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. And
Well, thank you, Lachelle.
you are so welcome. And, I encourage everybody to look at the banner, pancan.org,
And just so you know, today they're doubling the donations up to $100,000.
Oh, that's awesome.
So they have, now I don't know if that's just for our branch, but just FYI, that is happening today. One of the families donated $100,000 and said they would double.
Wow.
Yes.
Now that's amazing.
That is amazing.
Love it.
All right.
Because we have a goal. What's our goal? And we have it until April, right?
April the 29th is our walk. And our goal is, I think we set the overall goal for $7,000.
Nice.
Okay.
We can do that. We can do it.
We can do
Between
it.
now and then, we got this.
Yeah. One bite at a time, girl.
That's it. We're just breaking it down 1 month at a time.
I love it. I love it. So we're gonna go around and just give our final thoughts about what advice would we give people and how they would approach this day as Giving Tuesday. I think a lot of people think, oh my gosh, I don't have a charity, I don't have any money or whatever, but you can always volunteer. You could simply share this video for someone else that might be willing to give. So it's not always about the money. It's about being able to support other people. So we're going to go around and share our final thoughts. And again, ladies, thank you so much for joining and everything today. So Rochelle, we'll start with you.
I think my final thoughts would be the only moment that really exists is the now moment. So being present with who you are and really taking that moment, and whoever you're with, whether you're with yourself or a family member, be really present. And in that, you're giving back because you're present and you're there,
Mm-hmm.
Our life gets so busy. So
I love that. That's great advice. All right, Misty, what are your final thoughts?
I would like to say, but what Summer mentioned about writing, if you're feeling disconnected during a giving time, there's a couple things you can do. You can write a letter to someone else, even though they won't get it today. That's a beautiful gift. It doesn't cost money. And like you said, it's not always about the money. You can make a phone call to someone, even if you don't know why. If you just feel that someone call on your spirit, just give them a call. Hey, I just want to say hello. That's giving. And then just like Summer was saying, just checking out organizations' web pages and learning about the purpose and the mission and the symptoms and things that I might be able to go to someone tomorrow and go, oh, you're having, I might hear enough to say, ask your doctor to check this because she just gave something to me. So you can gift in a lot of different ways and still raise awareness for Summer in any cause, really. So I appreciate this kind of information being shared with us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was a gift I received.
I love that. I love that. It definitely switched the energy. So I love that. So Summer, what are your final thoughts?
Well, I love that she shared that because that's important to me. And I think, if somebody comes on your head, especially if somebody comes on your head, right, do something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever that is. Because I think that's when it really makes a difference. Especially then. But I'm just, I was just sitting here thinking, as we're talking about things that we can do for other people, not just, money and et cetera. I was thinking about my friend Tracy too. I just want to bring this up. Her name is Tracy Butler Epps, and she's a friend of mine. She went missing in March. It's a long story, but in the midst of this story, she's still missing. But in the midst of a lady that she worked with started an organization called Chickadees Escape. And it's to help women in the Richmond, Virginia area with issues concerning domestic violence. And so that's what I was talking about earlier when in the midst of it, just seems like that never would have happened if Tracy hadn't been missing. And I think about all the people that are going to be helped. And unfortunately, Tracy's still missing, but Tracy would be so happy to be helping other people. She would do this in a heartbeat. So I see this as like a double bonus, to help with other people. And so anybody hears this and feels like they want to do it, it's a brand new 501 in Richmond, Virginia. And I don't know the lady personally, but I did go to a vigil just recently where they introduced the organization to our community, and it sounds really good and it looks really good. So I'm just hoping that if anybody feels the urge to help with something like that, it's called Chickadees Escape, and it's in Richmond, Virginia.
Well, thank you so much for that, Summer. And ladies, this has really been a pleasure. I just love the whole idea of, having a conversation. A lot of times we don't even scratch the surface or change anything because we don't talk. We just assume we know, or we go around with questions that never get answered. So, really appreciate everybody sharing, and definitely, Summer, your vulnerability and your strength and courage is just always amazing to hear that story. So thank you for joining us and sharing your story with us. We really, really have been blessed by it.
Thank you. It's nice to be here. My pleasure.
All right. Well, you guys, thank you so much for joining us and watching today. And if you've been moved in a special way, please click on that link and join our team and give to the cause. We're really excited to be able to raise awareness, not just through one video, but really impacting the lives of others all over the country. So please join us on this mission. Share the video. Put in the comments what inspired you from this conversation. I know that Summer does a lot to give back to others, and it would be a blessing for her to hear some insight about what in her story really inspires you to stop making excuses, to stop living in limiting beliefs, but just to really live in the moment and take whatever energy you have and continue to build and grow with that. By making a difference in the world with using your voice to speak up and speak out about things that you value. So thank you guys again so much for joining us, and we will see you all on the next episode. Bye for now.